بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد 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 اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا وحبيبنا وطبيب نفوسنا وشفيع ذنوبنا سيدنا ومولانا أبي القاسم محمد
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
الصلاة والسلام على أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين الميامين المنتجبين واللعنة الدائمة الأبدية على أعدائهم أجمعين إلى قيام يوم الدين. أما بعد، قد ورد في دعاء المعرفة اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد اللهم عرفني نفسك فإنك إن لم تعرفني نفسك لم أعرف نبيك اللهم عرفني رسولك فإنك إن لم تعرفني رسولك لم أعرف حجتك اللهم عرفني حجتك فإنك إن لم تعرفني حجتك ضللت عن ديني اللهم لا تمتني ميتة جاهلية ولا تزغ قلبي بعد إذ هديتني اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وما خلقت الجن والإنس إلا ليعبدون آمنا بالله صدق الله العلي العظيم. So last night we started the Usul al-Din and how to prove Usul al-Din intellectually, logically. Because we said that in Usul al-Din there is no taqleed. We can't do taqleed in Usul al-Din. You see, in fiqh we do taqleed. But in Usul al-Din we have to make, every single person amongst us is responsible of making their own arguments, intellectual arguments, and concluding that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala exists, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is one, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is just, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sends the prophets and the messengers, alayhi salatu wasalam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He's the one, He chooses the imams, and then alayhi salam, and then there has to be a day of judgment. So obviously these are several lectures. I'm going to squeeze them here just to let our youngsters have an idea that these things can be easily discussed and proven, and it's not a rocket science. Every single youngster from our community members can. It needs a little bit pondering and thought process. Last night I discussed heavy duty logical concepts, and mashallah you all, or majority of you, said that it was okay. You see, and it was not complicated, it was not difficult. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us this mind, this brain. And logic is something which functions this brain. So we have to use the logic to understand our usul al-din. So last night we mentioned, just a quick recap. We mentioned that 3 theories we have to understand, the logical theories. Theory of causality, cause and effect. Every effect must have a cause, every existing. So that means we can't say Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was not created. If He was created, then He is not a creator. If he was created, then he can't be a creator because somebody must have created him. So that is God, that is Allah. So this one is not God. And we said if we continue like that, we will end up into endless chain. That's another logical concept, that in logic, if you end up into same repeated loop of conclusions every time, then you have to stop it. You have to break it. Otherwise, it's absurd to have endless logical chain in your conclusions. So you have to stop it somewhere. So we said, yes, he's a creator who was not created. And there's no creator above him. And there are several other theories we discuss in logical theories in our Usul al-Din classes in Hausa and in our Islamic advanced studies. There's immovable mover and all the other things, but I just want to give you an idea and a sample of what is discussed. So now, theory of causality, theory of endless chain is absurd, and the third theory was a son can never be the father of his father at the same time, same realm, same, correct? Yes. That means an effect can never be the cause of its cause. So if Allah created time, He can't be bound under time. If Allah created place, matter, He can't be subjected to come under these things which He created. Because a TV can never be the maker of its maker. Correct? So this is the same thing, that Allah is the cause. Father is the cause of his son. So the son can never be the father of his father. Never. It's impossible. At the same time, same realm, same situation, same circumstances. You have to put the same. So that was our last night. So we concluded that Allah, that there has to be a God. There has to be. And this creation cannot come out of nowhere. Just like that. The scientists say that the creation came out of nothing. So can nothing make a thing? Impossible. This child says impossible. It's a very basic logical concept. Can nothing make a thing? Impossible, correct? So there has to be someone who brought this universe from nothing to a thing. Okay? And that is, we say, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So now there are people, they say, no, universe came out of like that. So we have two problems. Problem number one, they say it came by chance. It came by chance. So let's see the chance, how good it is. How good it is. And then, does the chance maintain consistency? Maintain consistency. Let's see. First of all, we have this 26 constants in the universe. This is science. 26 constants in the universe. How many? 26. They're constants. And the whole universe is governed by these laws. The constants. Like, I'll give you an example. When you calculate the area of the circle, you have to use something which is called a pi, not an apple pie. No, something which is called a pi, like 22/7 or 3.14. That's a constant. Without it, you can't measure the area of the circle, neither the circumference of the circle. So there are certain constants. Now let's see this chance. Have you seen this chakka? Dice. In Swedish we call it tärning. So this dice, you have two dice, okay, two dices. And when you throw, what are the chances you will have 6, 6? Chakka, do chakka, yeah, 2, 6. What are the chances? Of course, those who are genius in mathematics, they will tell me. What is the chance?
1 to 6.
1 over?
6.
Now we have two dices.
12.
No. You need to redo your math. Exactly, 1 over 36. So the chance that you are going to get 6, 6 is 1 over 36. Very narrow chance. You threw this and you got chakka. You got 6, 6. Okay. Now we are going to throw again. Now we are going to throw the dice again. What is the chance of getting 6, 6?
1 to 36.
Huh?
1 to 36.
Exactly, same chance, 1 over 36. That means 35 over 36 chances are that you are not going to get 6. Correct? There's only one narrow chance you might get the same thing. Unless if you had made some manipulation in the dice, that's something else. We're talking natural dices. Okay. Now you play the third time. What is the chance now of getting 6? Twice you got 6. What is the chance now to get 6?
1 to 36.
1 to 36. It does not. The chance does not have consistency. So now we have this 26 constants in the universe. We can't base these constants on chance. Somebody has fixed them. Someone has fixed them. You can't get. Like for example, look at your body. You have nose here. Have you seen somebody's nose comes out here? Somebody's nose is here. Somebody's nose is on the knees. Have you seen like that? Maybe in the cartoon or the mutant things, but not Ninja Turtle or whatsoever. But not in real life. And suppose, let's say somebody was born with a nose here. What are the chances that another baby is going to have the nose here? No chances. So this is like a deviation. So chance lacks consistency. Chance cannot maintain consistency. This universe has consistency. And there's the one who fixes it. There has to be someone who fixed it. He knows what type of constants to fix and to continue it coming out in the same way. Look at your atoms. The electrons, hydrogen, nitrogen, all these things, they maintain consistency. So therefore, there is a constant. So you can't say universe came out of nothing, just like that, and it maintained consistency with constants. That is too much to put it on chance. That is too much. Let's say if universe is, everything is changing, like everything is chaos. Yes, we will say there's a chance. But no. Look at our body only. Like everything is balanced. Unless if a person is sick, then that's a deviate a little bit. But majority, 99% of the human, they have balance inside their body. If your temperature rises, that's a problem. You have to bring it down to the constant. If it goes low, hypothermia, we have a problem. So the bottom line is that chance to say that the universe was created by chance or by Goldilocks theory, that's absurd, logically absurd, impossible. So when you say impossible, you're using logic there. You see, this is science. So that's number one. Number two, so today I'm going to continue. So there has to be a creator, there has to be a designer, there has to be someone who fixed these things, and it can never be a chance. Now we come to the adl, just. Many times, like when you see this nice, beautiful shabih, you can understand, you don't know who made this, but you can understand the one who made it, mashallah, he is an artist. So it reflects the characteristics of the maker. Even if you do not know the maker, but this thing, shabih, reflects somebody, mashallah, artistic, designer, nice person. He has good taste and good artistic characteristics. So now the universe has something which is called equilibrium. Something where there's balance. Let's take a cup of water and put a drop of ink inside. What will happen to it?
The ink will dissolve in the water.
The ink will dissolve until it will keep dissolving and dissolving, or it will stop time. It will stop at some time, and that's the time where it reaches the balance. That means every single molecule of that color is distributed equally inside that liquid or water. Equally. That's what we call in science equilibrium. So things tend to reach the level of equilibrium. The temperature, if we have cold weather outside, we have warm weather outside, if you open the door or the window, there will be exchange of air, and then there will be a balance, equilibrium. So the universe tends to reach to balance. That means the one who designed it, created it, has the characteristics of balance. Adl. Okay? This is just an example. There are more arguments. Basic arguments of Allah is just that if He is God, it's very basic. It's not complicated. Just focus with me. If He is God, He has to be perfect. He has to be perfect. If He does injustice, He's not perfect. He's not God. He's not God. Because God is all perfect. And injustice is sign of imperfection. Ulamas, they mention why do a person do injustice? A, B, C, D. I'm not going to mention, but one of the reasons a person does injustice is weakness. Weakness. If somebody is weak, he will do injustice. He wants something, he can't get it right way, he's weak, he will try to steal. He will try to hurt others and get it. That is because of his weakness. He can't get it right way. So he goes to do injustice. So those who do injustice, they are weak. They are imperfect. It's impossible that God is imperfect. Impossible. So God has to be just. Once you prove that God is just, then all the usul al-din are proven. The rest. So you have to try your best to prove God is just. Before I move on to other point, that people they say, you Muslims, okay, this is how they say, you Muslims, you say our God is just. How can a just God allow these innocent people die in tsunami? How can this just God allow these innocent people die in wars? How can a just God allow this and allow that? So this is a valid question they ask, and our youngsters, they need to have an answer for it. So number one, the wars, we cannot put it on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You see, that is the responsibility of the human being. And even the natural disasters, human beings are the one, they drag these natural disasters.
Yes.
Like why did people of Nuh, they were sinked? Because of their sins. They dragged, because of their sins, everybody was wiped out except for the few who were in the Ark of Noah. So now there comes a question. What was the fault of innocent? They had to suffer. Now this word suffering, this is where our question is. Do you have the eternal knowledge when you claim this child who died in tsunami or died in natural disaster, he's suffering? Do you have that knowledge that he's suffering? He or she is suffering. Do you know what's behind the black holes? You don't know so many things. If you say you know everything, then you are the biggest ignorant on the face of the earth. But if you confess, no, I don't know what's behind the black hole, what's here, what's there, the science is still limited, and empirical method is still not 100% correct, because I studied science. I have a bachelor degree in zoology, chemistry. So I studied, we studied theories, and then after some time, as I was growing, the theory changes, the theory changes, the theory changes. The empirical method does not give you absolute answers in many things. In certain things, it might, but in many, atomic theory, the atom. While I was growing up, we went through so many changes in the atomic theory. This is atom. Then when I was in high school, no, this is atom. It changed. Then I was in the university, no, this is atom. So in my life, in my 3 stages, the atomic theory has changed. And this is empirical method. So empirical method is good, but does not give you every answer, and is limited to the world of physics, chemistry, biology, and mathematics. Beyond that, and the world is beyond that. The world is not material only. So the empirical method does not give you answers which are to questions which relate to beyond this physical system. So you can't judge the religion with empirical method, because religion discusses issues which are material and issues which are metaphysical, physical and metaphysical. Empirical method is limited and narrowed to physical realm and physical system. So now we come back. So therefore, we can't say because of this empirical method you can't prove the existence of God. Well, I use logic. Empirical method, they say, okay, you say that every effect must have every existing, every created effect, every made effect must have a maker, creator, designer. You see? So, but prove to us that God is the designer. But there is only one option there. If there were two options, two probabilities, you should have asked. They say, you are plugging this vacuum with God. No. In empirical method, you do the same thing. Like, I'll give you a basic example. Every metal expands with heat. Correct? Iron is a metal. These are premises. In conclusion, I'm not going to bring iron, for example. I'm not going to bring iron and heat it and check out. I can just simply apply that iron expands with heat. You don't need to. Why? Because you have these premises which are logical. Every metal expands with heat. You did experiments on a couple of metals. And then you did experiment on iron. Iron is a metal. So you have two premises which are based on empirical method. Then you conclude, oh, this is a metal, this expands with heat. Are you sure? Have you done experiment? No, because it's metal. Can you swear on God? Khuda ki kasam, by God, it expands with heat. How are you plugging your answer and you have not done experiment? That's logic. A, B, that means C is the conclusion. So I did the same thing. A, B, that has to be God. There's no other answer. If you have other probability, bring it up. No, I say I don't know. So you say you don't know. I say I know. So when you know, you come to me and we'll discuss. So as long as you confess that you don't know, I tell you I know because of the logical conclusion. That's the only way. So now we come back to the adl. So if God is perfect, He has to be just. It's impossible. So these things which happen when people they say, oh, this child died in tsunami and this and that. The problem is you deny the day of judgment. You deny the hereafter. That's your problem. You deny the hereafter. Because this child which died in tsunami, he thinks it's suffering. I think no, this child went to paradise. You see where the problem is? Because his limited perception of the world and the existence, he says this child was suffering. What was his fault? He died. He was deprived from this life. This and that. So I say, okay, that's what you believe. I believe the child was innocent, direct to paradise. So he's living now an eternal, excellent, amazing life. You see, you finish everything in this world. We know we continue it. So that's why. So this child is not suffering. People who die in tsunami and they are sinless, they are innocent, they go to the paradise direct and they have eternal life. So there is no suffering in my equation. It is your limited perception, narrowness of your equations that pushes the things into suffering. So the meaning of suffering is different. I don't have that suffering in my dictionary, in my ideology. So that is the part of suffering. And more we can go. Like for example, let's see if somebody is holding a knife. Okay, picture with me. Somebody is holding a knife. Okay, on the stomach of somebody. Syed Israr comes and takes a photo. And that photo goes on Facebook and YouTube and all this mass media. So we did this experiment in our madrasa and we showed them a photo, the kids. We told them, tell us, what is this guy doing? Everybody had different. One said, he's killing, murdering. I said, please don't think only negative. Think positive things. What good this might be doing? He's playing a drama, maybe film of Imam Hussein or something like that, teaching some. That's a nice positive thing. So there is an image. It's not necessarily negative image. You say suffering. Who told you suffering? Why don't you take other positive pictures? You are giving a probability suffering. Because to you, everything ends with death. So about 10 probabilities were shown in this image. One said, oh, there's a bullet in this guy, he's shot. So this is the doctor, he doesn't have tool, so he's taking the bullet out with the knife. You see? Oh no, this guy's doing self-defense. He was attacked, so now he's trying to defend himself, so now he's holding the knife on that guy. So there were so many positive, there were 8 positive images and 2 negative. So we are seeing a picture, tsunami, problem happening, child suffering, dying. Now, why did you conclude? You are an empirical person. Why did you make one conclusion? Suffering. Why not 9 other or 8 other conclusions, or maybe more? That no, it's benefit for this child. So anyhow, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is just. Allah left the justice upon the human being on earth. They say, why God is watching, doing nothing? Because God sent us prophets. God taught us. God told us, do not do injustice. So it's our responsibility on the earth to prevail justice. It's our responsibility. And then all the files are going to be on the day of judgment. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala must prevail justice. If He does not do in this world, He has to do. If He does not prevail justice, He is not justice. He is unjust. And if He's unjust, He's imperfect. If He's imperfect, He's not God. So He has to prevail. But how can He prevail justice on the day of judgment? Because these questions come one after another. Our youngsters, they ask, can He? We die. After death, what will happen? Well, He created us out of nothing. Okay? He created us when we were nothing. After we die, we still are, our body is still there in our ashes and in our dust. Our body becomes dust or whatsoever. Okay? So our remnants are there in the earth. So there is someone who makes a chair, and then the chair is broken. So it's easy to fix a chair or to make a new chair. What's easy? To fix. So God can, if He created us, then He can fix us. He can collect our parts. These are basic arguments. There are more deep arguments and more stronger. So if He created us once, this is at the end of Surah Yasin. I can't use Surah Yasin to argue. But Allah teaches us. أَوَلَيْسَ الَّذِي خَلَقَ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضَ بِقَادِرٍ عَلَىٰ أَن يَخْلُقَ مِثْلَهُمْ. Isn't He the one who created the heavens and the earth? Is capable of creating like of it. If somebody makes a chair, can't He make 10 chairs like it? He can. Okay? He can make. So Allah made this creation. Allah made me. He can remake 10s like me. Bala wa huwa al-khallaqul alim. Innama amruhu idha arada shay'an an yaqula lahu kun fayakun. For Him, He doesn't need to go through the whole recreation process. He just says, kun, be, and it becomes. So that's why Allah can recreate us. Allah can make a day of judgment. So that means if Allah is just, He has to bring me back to life to prevail justice. Because I was dealt with injustice. And if He's watching and He's not going to do justice, so He's unjust God. And He's imperfect, and that can never ever be a God. So that is another. So now if He's just, there has to be a day of judgment. Can the day of judgment be? Can we come back to life? Yes, it's nothing for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He created us from nothing. He created all these creations. He can create more and more creations, and He can bring us back. These are logical arguments. If He can once more. Okay? If He did, He can do once more. and twice and thrice. These are all logical statements. And then we come to the nubuwwah. God made me, and God kept potential for inside me. But when I'm born, I'm weak from every aspect. I need someone to take care of me physically. So there are the parents, caretakers, and all those. Then we have one more thing. What about my spirituality? What about my inner? You see, I need somebody to direct me. If He's God, He's just God. He needs to teach me what is justice and what are the best moral values which He loves. He needs to choose role models from the community. That's why He chooses the messengers and prophets. Messengers or prophets are role models. That means they never ever commit sins. How? What is infallibility? Is infallibility like he wants to commit sin and no, Allah is holding his hand. No, I want to drink this alcohol. No. Is Allah holding him like, no, I want to, no. So are the infallibles, are they masoom robots? That Allah stops them from committing sins? No. Then I will protest. Ya Allah, why didn't you stop me from committing sins? I needed more. You stopped the Anbiya. You stopped the Imams. Why don't you stop me from committing sins? I needed more. No. وَلِلَّهِ الْحُجَّةُ الْبَالِغَةُ. Allah's proof is above every proof. I can never ever protest. I can, but I will be defeated. You can't protest Allah because you'll be defeated. If you want, you can. Like the angels did. You can question Allah. And Allah loves. But then Allah will set His argument and His proof will be above. See? So therefore, لِلَّهِ الْحُجَّةُ الْبَالِغَةُ. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So what is infallibility? Many youngsters, they don't know infallibility. They say that infallibility is like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forces the imam not to do sins. That's wrong. From Adam alayhi salatu wasalam till Khatam sallallahu alayhi wa sallam.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali.
All the prophets are ma'soom. So what is ismat? They choose not to commit sins. They choose not to even think of committing a sin. They choose not to disobey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Not just in haram, even in makruhat. As long as they know God does not like it, even if it is not haram. No. You remember this ma'arefat? They have highest level of ma'arefat. They love God so much. So it's impossible that they think of disobeying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. These are the role models He chooses from the community and gives them a message and sends to us. So masoom is masoom by self. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives the masoom certificate in the community so that the community know that these people are noble. But they are noble by their choice. Masoom is masoom by his choice. Why? Because the level of love. So for example, they say that can a mother kill her child? She has the ability, she has the ability. If she's hypnotized, she can do that. But what if she's aware? Impossible. How can you say impossible? Because of the love she has for her child. So that's the same thing. Masoom loves Allah so much. And it's not just limited to masoom. You all try it. The more you will love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the more you will hate disobeying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You will consider disobeying Allah disgusting. You see? So, but what's the problem? Love. That's number one. So the masoom loves Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Many youngsters, they say, how can we stay away from haram? Haram is every side around us. Start thinking of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Start building up your ma'arifat. Start having this love and see how you will be able to stay away from haram. It's all about build up your structured love for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and have this ma'arifat. One of the 5 things we said, the indications of ma'arifat, love. We mentioned also an example, if you love your fiancé, you will never disobey her until the marriage happens. Because she might say, no, I don't want you. You see, before the marriage. And after the marriage, then you start disobeying her, for example. So, love makes insan automatically masoom. That's number one. Number two, the surveillance that God is watching. Allah is watching. They did an experiment with the children. Okay, they kept a cake inside a covered plate, and they told the children, don't uncover this plate. There's something hidden inside. There's a surprise for you guys. And they left, and they kept the camera. So what happened? That the children, they were curious. So someone tried to move a little. No, they said, don't open. The others said, nobody's watching. Nobody's watching. Let's try to uncover this. And then finally, they could not. The curiosity. So they were watching. Next time they came in, and they said, see that camera? That will be watching you guys. So if you uncover, we will know that. So they wanted, but they did not. They didn't know. Look at the camera. Look at the camera. They're watching us. They're watching us. So that's the thing. If you become aware that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is watching you, and you love Allah, you will never ever commit a sin. There are two boys. They went to beside a garden. They saw nice fruits hanging in the garden. So one of the boys, he said that I'm going to go inside and grab some. But if you see someone, okay, watching us, just call me quickly. So he said, okay, I'll do. The boy goes inside. Boy A goes inside to catch, and the boy B, come on out. What's happened? Did somebody see us? I don't see anybody. He said, if no one has seen us, Allah sees us. In lam yakun yarana ahad, fallahu yarana. Is it God watching us? You told me that if someone sees us, just call me quickly. I realized Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sees us. So that's why I told you, quickly come out. So Allah, if you are aware, like let me tell you, we sometimes become masoom. Those of our youngsters who likes to always, they say rules are made to go against them. So if you see them, the speed limit is 70 kilometers per hour. So they want to go 80, 90. But once they see there's a radar, they become masoom. They become infallible. Because why? There will be a punishment. You see, this is masoom. So masoom's concept is not complicated. One is love, and another is somebody's watching. For our masooms alayhimus salam, they don't care. Even if Allah is not watching, for example, they would not come in because they love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So that's the level from regular person. If he realizes Allah is watching, and we have to develop our ismat, our infallibilities. So every single one amongst us can become infallible with the lowercase I. Because our infallibles are with the uppercase I. So we all can become infallible. Just we have to realize that somebody is watching us. And then we have to develop this faith into love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. For the sake of Allah, for the love of Allah, I'm not going to do it because I love Allah. There are people, they say, unfortunately some of the Shia Muhammad, they said it, that Hazrat Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam had this desire to come to Zulaykha. But then he said, no, I can't. So we say it cannot happen. It's impossible. Prophet Yusuf had this deep love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He can never ever think. Thought can never come to his mind. So the verse of Quran has a stronger interpretation that he did not want her. He wanted to push her. Because she was coming to him. So he wanted to push her. That is what he want of Yusuf was different than how it is presented by people and by some, unfortunately, Shia Muhammadin. They have said that Hazrat Yusuf wanted this thing from Zulaykha. No. How could you say that? It's impossible. He's a Nabi. I'll give you an example of regular great scholars. Sharif al-Murtada and Sharif al-Razi, our great scholars. They were students of Sheikh al-Mufid. You see? So these two kids, Sheikh al-Mufid, one day, he woke up and he was like terrified. What will I do? So he saw a dream. He saw a dream that Fatima Zahra alayhi salatu wasalam is not with Allah.
محمد وآل محمد.
And he was surprised. She said, teach my two sons Hassan and Hussein alayhi salam. So he was shocked that who am I to teach the children of Zahra alayhi salam. So then, same time when he was thinking, there was a knock on the door, and then these two, the lady, her name was Fatima, and she brought this Sharif al-Radhi and Sharif al-Murtada. So now when, and they were the students of Sheikh al-Mufid. Anyhow, I will make it short. So what happened when their father died, and he had left inheritance? People like us, we look, books, you take the books, I'll take the money. No, you take the books, I'll take the money. These two youngsters, they want the books. So they divided the books of their father. There was one book left. And there's a fight now on this book. Who will take this book? Okay? Sharif al-Radhi says, please give it to me. No. Murtada says, please give it to me. So here, Sharif al-Murtada says, see, the one who I have, because I can give you a decree, so let's make a decree, a criteria for the book. Whomsoever has never ever committed a sin in his life will take that book. Sharif al-Radhi, because he was a philosopher and Urfan and all those kind of things, so he said, let me give you one suggestion. Would you accept it? He said, please go ahead, my brother. What about the person who takes a book is a person who has never ever thought of committing sin? Thought. Sharif al-Murtada says, please, my brother, you take the book. You see, these are not Anbiya. These are great scholars. Muqaddas al-Ardabili, the one who met the 12th Imam Ajjalallahu Ta'ala Farajahu Sharif. So people, they say, Ya Molana, hamari dua kabul nahi hoti hai, our duas are not being mustajab, what this and that. So he said, the reason is because the rules, you have made it wajib, we are going to do. Mustahab, are we going to be punished if we don't do it? No? Okay, we don't want to do mustahab. It's mustahab. And haram? Okay, we'll avoid haram. Makruh, are we going to go to hell? No. Okay, then we will do makruh. And mubah is that neutral zone. He said, for 40 years, I have only done wajib and mustahab. Mubah is waste of time. So I didn't want my precious moments of this world which Allah has given me to waste in mubah. It's like permissible things which doesn't have any religious preference in it. And then haram, I avoided. Makruh, I consider every makruh haram. No, I'm not going to do. I consider every mustahab wajib. I have to do. You see, the whatever I can. And mubah, no, waste of time. So he said, well, how will your dua be mustajab? So these are our ulamas who are never ever thinking of committing sins. How can Prophet Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, and he's a prophet, think of committing sin? So that's a big mistake where many people, sometimes mu'ammamin, they present this kind of argument. So anyhow, the bottom line is that how Islam trains our youngsters. And the ma'arefat is built from the childhood. The ma'arefat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Whatever pleases Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala should be my aim, should be my quest. Even if it costs me my life, I will do whatever pleases Allah. So we have this young Qasim, like in the night of Ashura, Qasim comes to Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam. Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam, after he had a meeting with his companions. So Qasim, he says, my uncle, you give glad tidings to every single companion of paradise. What about me? So Imam Hussein alayhi salam says, O Qasim, tell me, how do you perceive death? Qasim said, I perceive death more sweeter than the honey. So Imam alayhi salatu wasalam said that then you will be martyred, and even my baby Ali Asghar will be martyred. And the day of Ashura comes. It is mentioned in the narrations that Imam Hassan alayhi salatu wasalam had two sons who were like mainly mentioned in the history. There were other sons as well. Some narrations they say 6 sons, but 2 famous ones was Al-Hasan al-Muthanna. If you have heard this Tabatabai family, they are descendants of this son who was in Karbala. So Imam Al-Hasan al-Muthanna seeks the permission from Imam alayhi salatu wasalam. He was one of the Bani Hashims, and he fights like brave enemy. And finally, his body was filled with injuries. He fell down and he was unconscious until the time after the martyrdom of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. People, they came to behead all the bodies. Imagine someone who's still living, what will be the condition if his head is cut off and he's still living? Bless the heart of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. That was Imam Hussein alayhi salam when he was living, and Shimr cut his head off. Wa Husayna. So they came to cut off the head of those bodies which were lying on the land of Karbala. But when they came to cut off the head of Hasan al-Muthanna, there was someone who was related to the mother of Hasan al-Muthanna. He told them, I will not allow you. I am related to this Hasan al-Muthanna. So Hasan al-Muthanna was unconscious. He dragged the body of Hasan al-Muthanna, took him to Kufa, and after some time Hasan al-Muthanna was cured, and when he came to Medina, he lived some time, and finally he was killed by poison through Abdul Malik ibn Marwan, and he was only 35 years old. This was one of the sons of Imam Hasan alayhi salam. As I mentioned, there were about 6 sons of Imam Hasan alayhi salam, but the most tragic tragedy of sons of Imam Hasan alayhi salam is this small Qasim who had not even reached the age of puberty. He was a very small boy. When all the Bani Hashim, when all the companions were martyred, when all the Bani Hashim men were martyred, Ali Akbar were martyred, Abbas was martyred, Ona Muhammad were martyred, this child comes to Imam Hussein alayhi salam, says, my uncle, give me permission. I'm just going to stick to the historical text. I'm not going to go beyond the historical text. And it's very painful, whatever has been mentioned in this text. He comes to his uncle, uncle, let me go to the battlefield. Let me defend you. Imam Hussein says, oh my son Qasim, how can I allow you? You are the only sign now I have for my brother Hassan. How can I allow that to happen? And Qasim keeps coming back and forth, insisting on Imam Hassan alayhi salam, Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Oh my uncle, please let me go. I can't survive if all the Bani Hashims have been martyred, and if you will be martyred, what will my father tell me on the day of judgment? How will I face my mother? How will I face Fatima al-Zahra, as it has been narrated in poetries? And then the narration says Imam Hussein alayhi salam finally agrees. But look how Imam Hussein alayhi salam prepares Qasim. He prepares Qasim like a dead body. Like he prepares him like somebody shrouds a dead body, like a kafan. So Imam Hussein alayhi salam puts the amama on the Qasim's face until a part of amama was covering part of his face. And they equipped him with the sword. And Qasim goes. He was walking. He was a very small child. He was walking. He walks to the battlefield, and he fought. He was a very small child. He did not reach the age of puberty, and he was fighting like a brave warrior. How come he can't? He's the grandson of Ali ibn Abi Talib. He's the grandson. He's the student of Hazrat Abbas and Ali Akbar. So he fights the enemies. He kills some of the enemies, and finally Qasim's shoes had a strap. The strap broke. Now the enemies are talking. Amr ibn Nufail says, I am going to kill this child if I pass by him. And the one who was listening, he said, shame on you. This child has not even reached the age of puberty. How merciless you are. How could you kill this small child? He says, I am going to go there. And Qasim, he was fixing the strap of his leg. Hamid ibn Muslim says, Qasim's face was like a moon, which was partly covered. And he says, I remember when the child's shoe strap broke, and I remember it was the right foot shoes. So when Qasim bows down to fix the strap of his shoes, Amr ibn Nufail, the cursed one, comes from back of Qasim. He blows a big strike of sword on the head of Qasim. Wa Qasima! Head of Qasim splits open, and then it starts to bleed. And Qasim calls, Ya Amma! Oh my uncle, help me! Once Imam Hussain alayhi salam hears the cry of Qasim, he comes out like a hawk, and he takes a turn like an angry lion to the battlefield, and he comes to Amr ibn Nufail, and he cuts his right arm. Amr ibn Nufail calls for help from the army of Ibn Ziyad, and the army comes to help Amr ibn Nufail. And my beloved ones, when they come to save Amr ibn Nufail, the left horseman tramples on the body of Qasim, and those who are on the west, they come, and the left one, when they go to the right, and when the right one, they go to the left. The body of Qasim was trampled in pieces under the horse's hooves. Wa Qasima. And once Imam Hussain alayhi salam saw a dust. Once the dust settled down, he saw Qasim. He was rubbing his heels to the ground, and he could not talk, and he was taking his final breath. Imam Hussain says, oh my son Qasim, may Allah condemn those who killed you, and who will be more against them on the day of judgment than your father and grandfather. And Imam Hussain says, oh my Qasim, it was very difficult on your uncle, that when you called him, he could not come to you, and when he came to you, it was too late. And what does Imam Hussain does? Imam Hussain, after Ali Akbar, he lost all the taste and strength in life. After the martyrdom of Hazrat Abbas, his back is all broken and bent. How will he lift Qasim? What a desperate condition of Imam Hussain, a body which has been trampled into pieces. How could Imam Hussain carry this body? And the Rawi says, somehow Imam managed to collect the parts of Qasim. And the Rawi narrator says that we saw Hussain, he kept the body of Qasim on his chest, and he was leaning down, and the feet of Qasim were dragging on the sand. What a desperate condition of Imam Hussain alayhi salam. And he brings Qasim to the tent. Where does he keep Qasim's body? He keeps just beside Ali Akbar, and he drops himself, as the poet says, he drops himself on the body of Qasim, and he cries and says, Wa Qasima. Then he drops himself on the body of Akbar, and says, Wa Akbara. What a desperate image by the poet when they show the pain of Imam Hussain alayhi salam by losing Qasim and Akbar. Wa Hussaina, wa Madluma. وقاسماه وسيعلم الذين ظلموا أي منقلب ينقلبون ألا لعنة الله على القوم الظالمين والعاقبة للمتقين إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, by the sake of Qasim ibn al-Hassan, accept our Azadari and make us among those whom Fatimah Zahra intercedes for them on the day of judgment. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keep us always with Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Give us the intercession of Imam Hussein on the day of judgment. Bless us with the ziyarat of Imam Hussein in this world and the MAAREFAT of Imam Hussein from the religion. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala fulfill all the hajat of all the mu'minat around the world. And protect our beloved Azadari Imam Hussein, wherever they are, in Pakistan, in Iraq, wherever they are. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect all our Imam Barga, Islamic centers and Azadari Imam Hussein. May Allah wipe the terrorists out of this world. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, whomsoever tries to harm Azadari Imam Hussein, Shi'an Ali Muhammad, Mu'mineen, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala explode their bombs on themselves before they hurt any mu'min. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make the appearance of our beloved Imam soon and keep us among his loyal and sincere supporters in his occultation and after his appearance. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless all our marhumeen. آمين رب العالمين
الراحمين وصلى الله على محمد وآله الطاهرين.